Alright, it's Josh again. Got another live commentary, just waiting to be paired. Right now you're looking at some few puzzles, exercises against a training bot. Was feeling a little tired, so I just woke up took a little nap. Woke up about 10 minutes ago, so had to do some puzzles to make sure I'm awake. Alright, so playing down this one, so hopefully I can put together a good game here. Khan as usual. Alright, I enjoy these lines. C5, I don't really know the theory, but I usually have a good time. Don't often take right away like I just did. Usually I play knight c6 right away, but this should be fine. So e6. I mean, I think I just get a comfortable game here. I get some good pressure against this d pawn. Already, I'm threatening to take this d pawn. So we'll see how he reacts. Bishop e3 doesn't work because I pick up the b2 pawn. Now he could try to gambit this pawn. That's pretty much the standard response. So see if he lets me get in something like knight here. Okay, so he's going to play knight there, and I'm going to play. No, I could play here. Let's see what he does against this. He could play bishop e3. Question is, do I want to take and give him doubled center pawns? Some things about that are good, some are bad. Let's see. Do I want to just trade off some pieces and get? That would be. I don't want to go into. The problem is I don't want an opposite colored bishop ending. So I'll just take. Play something like bishop e7, and then castle. I don't see any ridiculous tactics or anything. So, he probably wants to play something like knight c4. I'm just going to play knight c8. Rook c8, and oppose him on the c file. I'm not really sure what the point of a3 is, except that maybe he doesn't want me to play knight b4. I'm really not too worried about that. Okay, so he wants to trade there. That's fine. Let's see. I will liquidate and sort of play a knight ending here. He might go for a kingside attack, but it's going to be hard for him to get one with so few pieces remaining. Let's see here. So I'll go here. And, what exactly am I looking to do here? Well, let's see. I could play something like queen b6. Try to double rooks, maybe. c5. I don't know. How do I want to play this? I guess. Let's go. Queen b3, b4. This is sort of a critical position. Alright. I'm going to come here. He'll probably play something like either b4 or he's going to go for a kingside attack. So, alright, b4. And I will play here. And he might hit me with b5. I don't really think that's a big deal. I'm just going to try to double here. And I don't really think that's that great of a move. His knight's going to get really uncomfortable here, as we've seen. Okay, so he's gonna play it like that, though. I could trade and just go with rook and bishop against king. That's no good, obviously. So I will play for. I think that looks like a good move. See how he reacts to that. A little bit tricky. Okay, so he's going to play that. This is pretty much just liquidating everything. Right now, I can obviously win the c file. I could play something like queen d7, or I could trade. Yeah, why don't I do this? Okay. And now a5 and let's see. Now I'm just going to make a run for it. That actually was a pretty serious mistake, I think, on my part. Well, the problem is now b3. I dropped this pawn. So I just blundered. I'm not playing very well on these live commentaries, as you can see. I'm just blowing all of my time again. So let's see what happens here. Okay, that was a pretty serious mistake. He just gave me a pawn. So now I'm feeling really good about this endgame. He's losing probably a few pawns here. Now my king is very active here, and he's just going to run out of moves. I'm just going to keep playing something like this. Actually, he can play there. Well, this is a little bit complicated. Let's see. Alright, I'm cool with this. That was a mistake. Alright, this pawn is too weak. He's in trouble. Yeah, he's just pretty seriously misplayed this pawn ending. And now it's just over. I don't even think he has counterplay. It's an interesting pawn ending, though, so we're going to examine this in a minute. Well, that was an interesting end to the game. He pretty much just was blitzing, playing too fast, and he threw away a pawn. He just sent me a tell that says, in all caps, "It was a draw, you lucky bastard." So he obviously was not happy about the outcome of this game. So why don't we look back and all right. Well, let's look at the game as a whole. The opening. I'm fine with this position. I think I don't know if trading the D pawn is actually the right way to play it. I played this a lot and I've had some good results. I haven't really studied the theory though. Maybe keeping the C pawn here, just knight C6 is a little better. But the point is, either way, I think this is kind of like an improved French. I get easy pressure against this D pawn with queen B6, and my bishop is out. Now, sometimes this bishop being out is a liability, but here I think it's pretty good. I like my position. It's pretty easy to get pressure. I might not be a huge amount better here. I am playing black, but I think I have a nice position. So let's see here. Yeah, I think this is fine. Just castling. He could have gone for an all-out kingside attack and we would have had a little bit of a different game, but it would have been hard for him to get anything concrete. I think just playing down the C file here is fine. I like that trade. I guess I could try to retain the two bishops, but I think this is fine. With something like bishop f5. I don't know. He'll probably get in this advance, though. Alright, so here I'm just trying to trade some pieces and maybe trade rooks. I still think, though, that maybe this wasn't so great, this knight a4 idea. Although I don't want him to get that knight in there, so maybe, yeah, this is okay. He takes. He could have hit me with a knight there, but that's not that great. Okay, queen d3, that is logical. Queen b6, hitting the pawn. But the main idea is that I want to play rook c6. b4. Rook there. Here I was a little bit torn between... Well, actually, no, I was playing this no matter what. Okay, now here, if he didn't move his knight away, the question is, can I play b6? Because some lines knight a6 is kind of annoying. Probably actually b6 and just queen b7. And then his knight, I guess, is trapped. Alright, well, apparently it's not that annoying. Okay, so he moves away. I don't want to trade and go into rook and bishop versus queen. I don't think that's going to be very productive. But I like this move. It forces some liquidation. Although probably too much liquidation, actually. Because keep in mind, he can trade rook takes rook, queen takes rook, queen takes, rook takes, and then because, well, no, he can't get away with that. Because the back rank threat, at the end, he can play rook c1 if I take the knight, check, but I can actually play bishop f8 to defend. So that won't quite work, which means that his move is probably fine, liquidating. What to say about this position? I guess maybe I shouldn't have liquidated all the pieces because I don't know how great my winning chances are here. It's probably fairly drawish. Maybe I could try. A5. I like that move. Breaking up his pawns. Oops. We're going to go to the end and then move back here. Yeah, that's what we'll do. So let's go before this ending, before all this. Here we go. All right, A5. Kind of overlooked this move, and the reason what I actually overlooked was the fact that after this pawn trade, and he comes here, if I play B6, he hits me with knight check, and I'm dropping the pawn. And if I play here, I think this pawn is a little too vulnerable, and this knight is not. I can't do anything with the knight, which means that essentially he's forced me to take, which is what I play in the game. And what that means is this is probably a drawn ending. So I guess what that means is that probably this idea of trading and playing A5 was no good. So, what I probably should have done here, and what I thought about doing, was just something like Queen C7, and then his queen's got to move. Or he could play his knight here, but I'm probably going to play something like Queen B5 and B6. So I think maybe I should have done that. So anyway, but I trade, and I get into this ending that's not so good because now I got to take it. If he'd taken the other way, maybe that would have been interesting. Here, let's see if he can get his king over here to defend fast enough. Actually, this actually might be dangerous for me because what he can do is play this, and I can't get my king. My king can't really keep things safe anymore. Well, maybe I can get some center pawns going though. I don't know. This is kind of a interesting king and pawn ending. Now, on just the straight up race of kings, I don't really get anything going here. Although, yeah, that's not going to work. So, really, he probably should have taken that way. He took this way, but even so, this is still an easy draw. So I move my king here, try to get my king to an aggressive spot, but really, if he doesn't just throw away a pawn, this is easy. I play here. Okay, so let's say he doesn't give me a pawn. He just plays here, and I play here. Something like this. Okay. So now we got to start to think about the fight for Tempe. Actually, maybe I'm better here than I thought. I think the key move is here. Maybe this isn't going to get me anywhere. I'm sure a player who's less rusty or just a smarter player would know right away. I'm pretty sure I can win this fight for Tempe with something. Whatever he does, I can sort of match it. And if he plays here, advances at 1, I'll advance at 1, etc. So eventually he'll come here and here. Now if he comes here, I can come here. Imagine this stuff. Let's go back. Take this analysis with a grain of salt. Maybe he does something like this, and then I can hit him with something like, I can just copy him, and then if he goes here, go here, and say here, here, and now, he's got to do something, and now, making a little bit of progress, but really, here's where my progress, well, okay, I can follow him, and now here, well, maybe. The problem is, once he comes here, I could get in some trouble. The problem is he gets the opposition there. So I think this is where it ends up being a draw. I can't do anything about this, I don't think. Although maybe earlier, this king stuff I'm not going to be able to outmaneuver him. But here, say he just does something like this. f6, that might give me something. Can't defend it, and if he takes, now I'm on the way to creating a central majority. And the other thing I can do is maybe run my king to the side. So maybe that's a more interesting try. But the point is, my opponent just threw away a pawn. And so now it's just over. I just take, and he's toast. I run him out of tempi, like we were just doing. And now he's got to give ground. And I win his pawn. So, sorry that wasn't as exciting as it could have been. We just kind of went into a drawn ending, and then he threw away a pawn. So, you can judge for yourself if whether, like my opponent says, I'm a lucky bastard, or if I played decently. Either way, I think it was a little rude on his part, but what happens, happens. So